Have you ever wondered why some people remain calm even when life seems to be falling apart around them? Why do certain individuals carry a quiet peace within them while others are overwhelmed by every challenge that comes their way? When difficulties arises, they do not panic. When uncertainty appears, they do not lose themselves. When the world becomes noisy, they remain centered. What is their secret? Is it strength? Is it wisdom? Or is it something far deeper? Today, on the secret journey, we begin exploring one of the life's greatest mysteries, the mysteries of inner peace. Not the kind of peace that depends on perfect circumstances, not the kind of peace that comes and goes with success and failure, but the peace that remains untouched by life's storm, the peace that already exists within you. Most people spend their life searching for happiness, searching for fulfillment, searching for approval, searching for something that will finally make them feel complete. They believe peace exists somewhere outside themselves, perhaps in money, perhaps in relationship, perhaps in achievement, perhaps in reaching some future destination. But no matter how much they gain, something still feels missing. The search continues. The mind continues asking for more success, more security, more certainty, more validation, and yet true peace remains elusive. Why? Because the greatest truth is often the simplest. What we are searching for is not outside of us. It was never outside. Imagine a person standing beside a river while dying of thirst. The water is right there, yet they keep searching elsewhere. This is how many of us live. We search everywhere except within ourselves. We look outwards for answers that can only be discovered inward, and because of that, we remain disconnected from the deepest part of our being. The mind becomes restless, thoughts race endlessly, worries appear one after another, the future creates anxiety, the past creates regrets, and somewhere between yesterday and tomorrow, we forgot how to live in today. Have you noticed how difficult it has become to simply be still, even for a moment? Most people reach for their phones the moment they wake up. Their attention is instantly pulled into the outside world. Messages, news, responsibility, deadlines, and everything else. The day begins before they have even met themselves, and they wonder why they feel disconnected. The truth is that the modern world constantly teaches us to look outward, but the wisdom has always pointed inward because everything begins within. Every experience, every reaction, every emotion, every perception. The outer world may influence us, but our inner world determines how we experience it. Two people can face the exact same situation, one become overwhelmed while the other remains calm. The difference is not the situation, the difference is their relationship with their mind. This is where the journey begins, not by changing the world, but by understanding ourselves. Think about a lake. When strong wind disturbs its surface, the water becomes turbulent, the reflection becomes distorted, nothing appears clearly. But when the wind settles, the water becomes still, and in that stillness, everything can be seen exactly as it is. The mind works the same way. when it is constantly agitated by fear, worry, judgment, and endless thinking, clarity disappears. When we stop seeing reality, instead we see only our interpretation of reality. We react rather than respond. We assume rather than understand. We fear rather than trust. But when the mind becomes quiet, something extraordinary happens. Awareness awakens, clarity returns, and for the first time we begin seeing life as it truly is, not through fear, not through judgment, but through presence. Perhaps you have experienced this before, maybe while watching a sunrise, maybe while walking through nature, maybe during a quiet moment when everything suddenly felt peaceful. But a brief instant, there was no worries, no regrets, no pressure, no need to become anything, only presence, only stillness, only peace. Those moments are not accidents, they are reminders. Reminders of who you truly are beneath the noise of the world. Because beneath every thought exists a deeper awareness, a deeper intelligence, a deeper presence, and that presence has never been broken. No matter what you have experienced, no matter what mistakes you have made, no matter what pain you have carried, at your core, something within you remains whole. This understanding changes everything because when you realize that you are not your thought, you stop becoming trapped by them. A thought appears, you observe it. A feeling arises, you allow it. A challenge comes, you face it. But you are no longer lose yourself within every experience. You become the observer, the witness, the awareness behind it all. Many people believe peace means something alive, free from problems, but that is impossible. Life will always contain challenges. There will always be uncertainty. There will always be change. There will always be moments of loss. The goal is not to eliminate difficulties, but the goal is to discover the part of yourself that remains stable through them. Consider a tree during a storm. The branches may sway, the leaves may shake, the winds may be powerful, yet the root remains deep within the earth. Because of those roots, the tree survives. Human beings are no different when we become rooted in awareness. Life storm loses the power to destroy our inner peace. Challenges still come, but we remain grounded. Difficult emotions still arise, but we are not consumed by them. The world continues moving, but we remain centered. This is true strength, not the absence of struggle, but the ability to remain present within it. One of the greatest lessons on the spiritual path is learning to sit with ourselves. Most people spend their life running from fear, loneliness, discomfort, and running from silence. They distract themselves endlessly because being alone with their thoughts feel uncomfortable. But what if silence is not something to fear? What if silence is the doorway? What if the answer we seek have been waiting for us? They're all alone. When we stop running, something remarkable happens. We begin to hear ourselves, not the voice of fear, not the voice of conditioning, not the voice of society, but something deeper, something wiser, a quiet inner knowing, a voice that has been patiently waiting beneath the noise. The voice does not shout, it whispers. And that is why so many people miss it, because they are listening to everything except themselves. The journey inward requires courage, a real courage, because eventually we encounter the parts of ourselves we have avoided, our fears, our insecurities, our wounds, our regrets, the shadow we hoped would disappear on their own. But healing begins when we stop resisting. Healing inside begins when we are willing to look honestly at ourselves without judgment, without shame, without pretending. When we do this, transformation begins. The fear becomes understanding, the pain becomes wisdom, the wounds become teachers, and the obstacle becomes stepping stones toward awakening. Have you ever noticed how much energy we spend trying to become someone else? Trying to meet expectation, trying to gain approval, trying to fit into an image of who we think we should be? It is exhausting because deep down the soul does not want to become something else. It wants to become fully itself. The world teaches comparison, but peace begins with acceptance. The moment you stop measuring yourself against others, something changes. The pressure begins to dissolve, the struggle begins to soften, and you remember a beautiful truth. You were never meant to be anyone else. You were meant to be you, fully, completely, and authentically. Many of us fears we carry are born from forgetting this. We fear rejection, we fear failure, we fear being judged. But these fears lose their power when we realize our worth is not determined by outside opinion. Our worth is not earned, it is inherent. It has always existed, just as the sun remains bright even when hidden behind clouds. Your value remains untouched regardless of circumstances. The cloud may come and go, but the light remains. As awareness grows, a new relationship with life begins to emerge. You stop trying to control everything. You stop demanding certainty from an uncertain world. You stop resisting every challenge that appears. Instead, you begin trusting the journey, not because you know exactly where it leads, but because you trust yourself to walk it. This trust creates freedom, and freedom creates peace. You begin appreciating simple things, a breath, a moment of silence, a conversation, a sunrise, a gentle breeze. The ordinary becomes extraordinary because you are finally present enough to experience it. Presence is one of life's greatest gifts, yet it often overlooked. People spend years waiting for life to begin, waiting for the perfect opportunity, waiting for success, waiting for happiness, waiting for some future moment. But life is happening now, not tomorrow, not next year, now, this breath, this moment, this experience. And the more present we become, the more alive we feel. Eventually, there comes a point where something shifts within. The constant need to chase begins to disappear. The endless search starts coming to an end, not because we have found every answer, but because we have found something more valuable. We have found ourselves, and when that happens, peace is no longer something we occasionally experience. Peace becomes the foundation from which we live. It becomes the way we speak, the way we think, the way we walk through the world. People may still misunderstood us, challenges may still appear, life may still change, but something within remains steady, a quiet presence, a silent strength, a deep knowing, and from that place, love naturally emerges. Not love as an emotion, but love as a way of being, a comparison that extends to ourselves and others, a recognition that everyone is carrying invisible struggles, everyone is learning, everyone is growing, everyone is searching for peace in their own way. When we understand this, judgment begins to fade, kindness grows, patience grows, understanding grows, and life becomes lighter, not because circumstances have changed, but because we have changed. As this journey comes to a close, remember one simple truth: peace is not a destination, it is not something you must achieve, it is not hidden in some distant future. Peace is your natural state. It is what remains when the noise settles. It is what remains when fear loosens its grip. It is what remains when you stop running from yourself. The peace you seek has never left you. It has been waiting patiently beneath every thought, beneath every worry, beneath every distraction, waiting for you to remember. So the next time you find yourself overwhelmed by life, pause for a moment, take a breath, close your eyes, and listen. Not the noise of the world, but the silence within, because perhaps the answer you have been searching for are already there. Perhaps the peace you long for is already present. Perhaps the journey you have been trying to begin has already started. Yet, perhaps at this moment, you are closer to your true self than you have ever been before. Thank you for joining me on the secret journey. May your path be guided by awareness. May your heart be guided by peace. And may you always remember the wisdom that lives within you. Until next time, stay present, stay conscious, stay connected to the light within.